really want to talk about tonight, Rod, are some things a purchaser should know before a home inspection, and then some tips a seller can do to help speed up a home inspection that's being done on their property. So first we're going to look at, we're going to talk about 5 things a purchaser should know before the inspection. So first of all, Rod, who typically attends the home inspection?
I'd like to have the purchaser. The purchaser needs to be at the home. It's a time to slow down, take a look. Sometimes home, and they really only have been there twice for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. They found the home that fits all their criteria. Now it's a time to slow it down, look in every nook and cranny in that house, and make sure you're comfortable with that purchase. This is the final look, the final signature before you make the final decision on this home.
Now, if I can interrupt Jeff for a little bit, Rod, would you recommend that the purchaser bring anybody along with them to attend the inspection?
Well, it's good that the purchaser, their spouse, maybe a father or parent, it's a good time to leave the kids at home and come in and concentrate on what the inspector has to say.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, and I get asked that question as a realtor a lot. Can I bring my family with me? People are really excited and proud. They want to show off their new property. They want to bring their aunt and uncle and bring 20 people through. And it really isn't the time to do that. We really want to devote that time to the home inspector and the purchaser to have their time.
Okay.
So next, how long does a home inspection usually take?
Generally, the home inspection takes 2 to 3 hours. Again, every home is a little bit different, and each purchaser can be a little bit different. Some people have lots of questions, and we slow down. We always allow lots of time for the inspection, and ask the questions. Don't be afraid to stop and say, you're going too fast. You know, I have a question. I want the answer.
Okay, 2 to 3 hours. That might be a good reason why to leave the kids at home, too.
Oh, for sure.
Keep their attention for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, it's not fun if you got a couple munchkins there. Well, I also talk about with purchasers that it really is a visual inspection. Can you elaborate on what I mean by that?
We have to remember, we're still a guest in this home. You haven't signed the final line. You haven't said, yes, I'm going to take this house for sure. So it's not a time the inspector, I'm not allowed to rip up carpet or drill holes in the walls.
So you're not going to peel the paneling off and see what kind of insulation there is? But
some days I would like to.
Okay.
So it is a visual inspection.
Definitely a visual inspection. I do pull out things like moisture meters that's non-invasive. We get in, if there's an access that we can get into without damaging, we'll stick our head in the attic and places like that.
No, sorry to interrupt, Rob, but I want to ask kind of a technical question because it just came to me. I know of some people who purchased a home and had a little bit of problem with a leak in the basement. Now, if it's non-invasive and you can't really get behind the panel, is there a way you can check the foundation? And you mentioned a moisture meter. Would there be any kind of indication whether there was a leak in the foundation through a moisture meter as opposed to being able to really take a look at what the foundation has to offer?
We have to keep in mind each time a year we get to see something a little bit different. If it's been dry for the last 4 months, it's really sometimes really tough to find moisture in a basement.
Okay.
But if we had a rain like we had on Monday, you know, those things show up a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay.
So it depends.
Yep.
Next, we talk about every problem has a solution. Talk about that. I always tell a buyer when they go on a home inspection, Rod's job is not to tell them how nice a house they bought and that this is the perfect house for them. Rod's job is to work for them and find out all the negative problems about the house. So sometimes in the beginning, you're there for 30 minutes, and all of a sudden, Rod's found 5 things that are wrong with the house. Well, that's Rod's job to find that. Yep. Let's analyze everything at the end and see the overall big picture. And every problem does have a solution.
And some people would be scared by that immediately. So do you do any kind of talk with them ahead of time saying, look, 99% sure I'm going to find some fault with this home, so don't be worried when I find fault, but the whole objective is for you to go into this purchase with some knowledge behind you of what the faults are and what the potential costs are going to be of purchasing a home that has those faults.
Yeah, absolutely. My goal isn't to be Mr. Negative, but you know, it's very good that you get to see these things ahead of time. And you know, sometimes the problem is relatively small and it's a low cost to fix, but if you totally ignore it, then it can become a larger cost item down the road. You know, sometimes the odd time I do run across items that the purchaser has to step back and say, man, I need to reevaluate this home. Is this the right home for me today? You know, and then there's other homes that we go into, and yes, it does need a lot of work, but the purchaser says, I know I'm buying this house at a discount. I can do these items myself. I can fix, and I'm going to have good value at the end of the day. And the whole goal is to make sure the purchaser is comfortable with that decision. Homes, as Jim talked about earlier, you're spending a lot of money.
Potentially your biggest investment ever, really.
Absolutely. So it's good to go in with the mindset that I'm going to purchase this home with as much information as I can possibly come up with.